Welcome back. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays. Filling in for Kyle as the co-host, Jason All with Team Home Loans. Also in studio with me is Brian Kochi with Whissel Realty and Clay Murray, also with Team Home Loans. Clay, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Last segment, I can't believe it's already here, but having a great time so far. I got to learn a lot about Brian last segment.
Yeah, it goes fast, right? The time goes fast. And I know we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but I do want to bring up our Aztecs. I know you guys both happen to be at the Aztec game Saturday night.
Yes, sir.
Against Air Force. How was that?
It was, I was telling you earlier, sorry to cut you off, but it was frustrating. I mean, Air Force, basically what they did was line the key with their defense and said, go ahead and take those perimeter shots, Aztecs. And they had no answer. I mean, they started out shooting. Trey Kell was ice cold.
Oh, that was rough.
And it was frustrating to watch. And then Matt Strigley comes in on his white horse.
Hadn't scored 1 point all year.
Exactly.
He's been hurt. Came
and
back
he
about
goes,
4 games ago.
Yep.
Dude, the guy just starts stroking. 4 for 4?
Yeah,
he's 4 for 4?
So he missed the first half of the season. So he's basically like he's out of training camp. He's starting his actual season now. A lot of people were hard on him when he first came back, but it's like the kid hadn't played basketball in a year and a half.
Right.
And now he's back to being Matt Strigley. He's hitting those perimeter shots, and now that he's confident with that, I think you're going to see him go inside a little bit more like he did at the end of last season.
Up so much.
This team is so much better when Matt Strigley is Matt Strigley.
Yes, and the crowd was loving it.
It was
Standing
amazing.
Ovations, Air Force calling timeouts, which just erupted the stands. It was awesome to see. And then in the second half, it got close again. I think it was down to a 2-point game.
It was
with
a few minutes
somewhere
left.
around 5 minutes or less left, and then they started playing the foul game, and luckily the Aztecs did hit their shots at the charity stripe, and we pulled away with that win.
So Brian, was that your first game of the year?
It was my first game this year. I went to one last year. I'm a bad sports fan. I'm sorry. I'm a bad Aztec. I graduated from San Diego State. My wife graduated from San Diego State.
And then how are you a bad Aztec? Just because you don't support them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't
But
go
at
to
least
the
you
games.
go to the game. You're not a big fanatic
No,
like
but
Mr. Hall.
yes.
But you went to the game. You enjoyed it.
We really enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. I don't understand basketball much, and so I kept turning to my wife and said, "What does that mean?" She's like, I don't know. And so a lot of, because I know the football hand signals. I don't know anything about basketball.
Yeah,
but
basketball's a little different than the signals. I can understand that.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. It was exciting at times. It was frustrating at times. One thing that I really enjoyed, and kind of going back to culture, is one of my things that I really like right now is culture in different areas. And the culture of the Aztec fans in the section they call the show is amazing. It gave me goosebumps. It was awesome to see so many people so
excited and
so in sync. It was insane. I mean, you go to concerts, and this always bothers me, but people, they put the lighter up and everyone's hands are going opposite directions, and some people are it's weird. I hate it. But at the show, everyone was on point to the beat. It was
they're getting better. I think they're starting to come back, Paul.
Yeah, they really are. Like, I was there from 2009 to 2012, so it was like when the team was really starting to get good, get to national prominence, and it was absolutely insane. Some of the stuff that we said and did was, we probably crossed the line. I probably crossed the line several times, but it was so much fun. Yeah. It was college basketball at its best. To me, like, I'm probably more of a college football fan, but in terms of game experience, nothing beats a true college basketball environment. And Viejas Arena is it's as good as you could find in the country.
We talked about this last week, but it was so exciting that we were down to New Mexico. New Mexico turned the ball over underneath the basket, controversial call, and we're still down 3 with like 12 seconds to go. And all of a sudden, the show starts chanting, "I believe we will win." Now, we're down 3 points. We just got the ball on a wild turnover, and they believed that we were going to win. And that was probably what the players needed to hear. Pope hit the 3, put it in overtime, and we ended up winning.
His first 3 points of the entire game. Yeah. Hadn't hit a shot. He played good on defense, but he hadn't hit a shot.
And so that was one of those wild things. But let's talk about Air Force. Air Force went back to home last night and beat UNLV. Now, UNLV is very up and down. They've beat some good teams this year, but they've lost to a lot of teams. They lost to Air Force. Air Force beat UNLV, which is always one of our rivals, San Diego State in the Mountain West. And what I also found out, as of through right now, no visiting team has won in the month of February in the Mountain West.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah. because we lost.
That's
Fresno
right.
Lost
State
at
was
Fresno,
our
yeah.
only road game. Now, we actually play Sunday against San Jose State. So, stay tuned, watch that game. Let me see if I can find out what time that is. I'll bring it up here in a second. But let's talk about rates there, Mr. Clay.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of touched on it before we went to break that rates are actually doing very well. They're low right now. And, since the Fed adjusted the short-term rate in December, we've seen a steady decline in mortgage rates. And I won't say nobody because the guy across the table from me said that he had seen this before. Jason did say, just because the Fed is working with the bank's rates doesn't mean that's going to, affect mortgage rates the same way. And sure enough, the last 6 weeks, interest rates have steadily declined. Now, we do see peaks and valleys along the way, but if you look at the overall trend, we got rates below 4% now.
Yeah.
And nobody thought it would happen when the Fed
Wednesday,
started
it hit
messing
like
around.
mid-threes again before they bounced, and it might come back. A lot of stuff's going on with the oil and the economy, what's happening in Europe with negative interest rates. All these things are happening and that are starting to drive our rates here down. Okay. So this gives you an opportunity to either purchase at a super low rate, refinance, lock it up for 30 years, get that done. And one of the things that I recommend that you look at a no closing cost option. If you can, that's a huge advantage. I know, Brian, when you purchased your house, we did it at no closing cost.
Yes, sir.
And people go, why don't you get maybe an 1/8 or 1/4% rate lower? Didn't you want to save $50? Well, is $50 more attractive right now to each month, or is $8,000 in a closing cost credit to pay for your closing cost? If you keep your house and your loan forever, you want the $50, but most of us tend to refi or sell our house every 5 to 7 years, and it doesn't make sense. So think about that. Reach out to a professional, somebody like Clay Murray. You can text us at 619-663-7355 to find out more information about looking at no closing costs. Does it make sense for you?
And we've touched on that before, is everyone is so caught up with interest rate. Give me the lowest rate. I want the lowest rate. I need it so bad. And then you got the yes men over here who can promise the world in interest
And how
rates.
did the yes men go?
Yes.
No. Yeah. So that's your yes man. But what they don't think about is what we call pricing, and that's kind of the lender credit that's built into each interest rate. So don't get so tied up with interest rate. Come in, speak with a professional. Let us show you why it might be a better situation to take an 1/8 higher or even take a 1/4% higher if the lender is going to incentivize you to do so with $5,000 or $10,000 towards your closing costs right now.
So I got a question. So
Brian.
who should call you right now to talk about refinancing? Someone who bought their house a year ago, 15 years ago, 2 years. Who is the perfect person right now to give you a call?
If you have mortgage insurance, you should reach out to a real estate professional, somebody like Clay Murray. So that's huge. So if you have mortgage insurance, that's principal mortgage insurance, whether it's an FHA loan or conventional, we can get rid of that. That's huge. And that could have been from 6 months ago to 6 years ago, Brian. I've seen people keep that PMI, the principal mortgage insurance, for many years.
So
also,
I
if
got
your
a
rates are
question.
anywhere in the 4s, you might want to look and see, hey, does it make sense if it doesn't yet, Clay, when will it make sense so we can plan and get that ready? Because when rates do drop, sometimes it's only for a day or two, and then they spike back up, kind of like we saw last week. And if we were ready, we could have maybe locked you in on a super low rate had you prepared and put the information together for Clay. But what's your question,
So
Brian?
maybe I need to talk with
wrap
you.
up.
I bought 6 months ago. I have PMI. Is that something I need to talk to you about?
Yeah, we
Okay,
should
we'll
look.
talk.
We should definitely revisit, talk about that, see how the values are going.
And
Wrapping up the
another
show.
scenario is right now rates are so good right now. We might even be able to pull cash out of your home if you need cash to pay off other debts and keep you at the same interest rate or maybe even better. Rates are that good right now. So if any of those scenarios are you, just give us a call. It's no pressure, no commitment. We just want to be there to help you accomplish
There's the
your
whistle
goal.
wrapping up. Hey, San Diego State plays Sunday at 1 o'clock against San Jose State. Watch that game. Go Aztecs. Again, this is Jason Hall with Team Home Loans filling in for Kyle on Whissel Wednesday. Thank you for listening.
You just put your lips together